Hi, I'm Aurora, and welcome to another session of character modeling. The truth is, I'm kind of work in progress right now. Smoore needs to work on my materials and stuff, so hopefully I'll be much prettier when he's done. Anyway, today Smoore will be demoing how he made my puffy sleeves. So without further ado, here's Smoore.
Okay, so this is work in progress. This is a character named Aurora. She's going to be a witch, a good witch. This is a early kind of a concept I did a while back that I've been meaning to build, and I finally got around to it. It's just meant to be a quick project, quick rough sketch, almost like a 3D sketch. And for this video, I wanted to kind of focus in on her sleeves. So Aurora has these puffy sleeves, something like this is a real world example, something you might find on a Renaissance medieval costume. Um, nice puffy sleeves. So that's the focus of this video. How do we make puffy sleeves? We're gonna start with a regular sleeve. So if you've not made a sleeve before, I will drop a link to a video below, which will kind of walk you through making a basic sleeve. So, so we're starting with this regular sleeve pattern. And what we're going to do to make a puffy sleeve, we're going to add a strip down the center. So what that's going to do, that's going to mean there's going to be more material on the sleeve than the sleeve hole. So at the moment, if I was to if I was to look at the dimensions, so this would be the back. This is 17.87. And the sleeve itself kind of lines up pretty accurately with the dimensions of the sleeve hole. I mean, full disclosure, when I get around the front, it's not precise. That's 13 something, and this is 11. So there is some discrepancies there. However, we're going to add significantly more material to the sleeve, so we give it more volume. And because there's more volume in the sleeve, it's going to puff out. So to begin, let's just blow away the front of the sleeve. Give it a minute to think about it. And just check the properties here. I want to keep my particle distance initially low. So yeah, we'll take that from 5 back up to 10 for now, just so it's easier to work with. All right, so let's start. We're going to add a center strip. So I'm going to create a rectangle, and I want this to be, I figured out just kind of to create the puppy sleeve, I did some research online. I looked at patterns online as you do. And so I thought, like, visually, based on the pattern reference I had, that I wanted to add a strip that's about 6 centimeters wide. So I'm going to make my direction both, so it's scaling from the center out evenly, and I make the length 6 centimeters at the top. I repeat that process at the bottom, both for the direction. Okay, so now we have a strip that's exactly 6 centimeters wide. We just need to match the vertical dimension, so that should be 18.04, 18.04, and again from both directions, from the center out. This keeps everything nice and square. 0.04, direction is both, and there you go. Bob's your auntie. We got south center strip. And now I have, by the way, I have snapping on. I've under preferences, snapping, I've got it snap to pattern. So my center strip snaps to the adjacent pattern. All right, so now we're going to copy this pattern, mirror paste to the other side. Before we merge, I want to make sure that these sleeves have the same material, which happens to be the sleeve band. I know that already. So I'm going to make sure all these are sharing the same material. Now, to merge, to make this one piece, we're going to select these two edges here. And so I kind of put a space between them so I could see them and select them. And I'm going to right click and select merge. And voila, you now have, that's now one piece. And don't worry about what's going on here in the 3D viewport. Nothing to see here. That's fine. We'll reset the 2D arrangement points in a minute and fix that. So no need to be concerned about that. Once again, we select both edges that we want to merge. Right click and select merge. And there you go. Now we have one piece of material. Since everything else is frozen, I can go reset 2D arrangement points in there. Now she looks normal again. I'll turn on the arrangement points for the avatar and just do that initial wrap. So there we go. So far so good. We now have we have added our center strip. It is time to sew, almost time to sew this thing in. So we have one little challenge here, which is that if you go to the front pattern, you'll notice there's a dart. So I need to add a point to this curve here. So in order to sew that front curve in there, and also I have 2 points here, but only when this stitches together, that's one single point. So to deal with that, let's deal with these kind of center point first. What we're going to do is convert that to curve point. Same here. And of course, these ones, since it's a straight line, you can just delete them. Now, finally, what we need to do is split this uniformly. Cool. So now we have a curve that corresponds to the back and a curve that corresponds to the front. And we just need to split this front curve one more time to allow for that dart. And this is where it gets fun. Pull out your calculators. Here we go. So looking at the front pattern, if I add these two segments split by the dart together, I get 15.61 centimeters. Now, this little segment here is 4.17 centimeters. So the question is, what percentage, 4.17, what percentage is 4.17 of the total 15.61 centimeters? All right, with me so far? So the answer is 26.71%, and you'll see why we need that in a minute. And just a FYI, I'm no math genius. I use the internet. I just go to the, look up a percentage calculator, and there's lots of useful percentage calculators on the internet, on Google, etc. So that's how I arrived at this number here. So returning to our new kind of puffy sleeve pattern. So the length of this curve has gone from 15.61 centimeters to 20.92 centimeters. So what we basically want to do is split this curve. So it's about this, even though it's longer, the point, where this point of the dart lies on this curve is the same ratio as the original pattern, right? So the original pattern was split, 4.17 and roughly 11.44. So now we just want it to be the same percentage there. All right, so for our new kind of puffy sleeve, this line segment we're concerned with is 20.92 centimeters, right? So the question is, what is 26.71% of 20.92 centimeters? The answer is 5.58 centimeters. All right, so knowing that, we want to split this line segment here. So the shorter segment is 5.58 centimeters. Now back in Marvelous Designer here, here's the line segment in question. We're going to right click on that, choose split, and so it's arbitrarily kind of split this segment and we're going to change that value from 12 to 5.58 centimeters. Oopsie, wrong one. Sorry, my bad. 5.58 centimeters for that segment. So you can see it there, and click OK. So now this segment is split, so it's at least the same ratio as the segment it's going to be sewing into. So it'll be different length, it will bunch up, but at least it's the same proportions. All right. Okay, so now to stitch this pattern, the sleeve, into the torso. Just moving these patterns around so it's a little easier to follow. So, segment sewing and start stitching her in. And finally the back piece. And let's give this a go. Let's see what happens here. And there you go. So you can see it's kind of, I've got the particle distance down a bit, but you can see how it's kind of puffing out at the top there. Of course, I need to stitch the bottom bit as well. I forgot to do that. Cool. So far, so good. Let's dial up the particle distance. So go to the property window. And we'll take this down. Initially, I'll just take it down to 10 because we're not quite finished yet. And what we need is this armband. So you can already see there's a difference. You see how this is kind of skin tight and this is puffing up. I think it's a good start there. It's definitely a little puffier than the regular one. So we'll copy this armband here and mirror paste it over to the other side. Just to get the armband in place, I'm going to deactivate pattern and sewing on the sleeve and get that out of the way just by hiding it. Make sure that this is active, and we'll do a quick sim of the sleeve. And you might have, it was kind of barely perceptible, but it just kind of snapped into place. So that's good. That's simmed. I'm going to freeze this because I kind of want to keep the armband in place and let the sleeve kind of puff around it and hopefully overlap it a bit. Okay, so final step, final stretch here, segment sewing. Oh, and I do need to split this uniformly. So we've got a point at the top of the sleeve. I could just delete that point, but I don't know. I'm superstitious. I'm just going to split it. So we could go either way here. Split, and I'm going to uniform and segment sewing and just sew those 2 points in there. All right, here we go. Activate, show, and sim. Off we go. You can see how having that frozen kind of helped to kind of focus the simulation on the sleeve. There's something I should check here. So this is nice and puffy. Looks a bit kind of gritty right now because of the particle distance. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to check our layers. So back to the trusty property editor, just to kind of make things clear. I'll activate that for a second so you can kind of see via the colors. So let's say that the top layer is the bodice, and the bottom layer, which has the puffy sleeve sitting under the bodice, I'm going the shirt, right? So the bodice is layer 2, right? And our shirt is layer 0. Okay, that's all fine. And my armband is layer 0. I'm going to make the sleeve itself layer 1. So I've already set it to layer 1. And the reason is if it puffs, I want it to sort on top of the cuff, so like it can fold over top of it if it needs to, but keeping it, underneath the bodice, I'm going to give it a new name, the top garment. It needs to sort under that um, and it can sort with or on top of the shirt. Okay, so finally, let's just take that particle distance down to 5, and I will keep everything else frozen, just to be safe. That can be frozen too. The cuff can be, that's already, all right, so let's give it a sim with a particle distance of 5, and there you go. It starts to look a little better. So we've got on the, I would say it could be a little puffier, but of course you can fix that by, you can of course kind of grab it and pull it around. There's a couple of things we can do at this point. So let's say option 1 would be to edit the weft and warp settings. That would literally make the material baggier. Another thing we could do is just scale it, right? And I think just for shits and giggles, let's just try that. Let's just scale the whole thing up a bit. And there you go. Now it's definitely a bit puffy. It is having some trouble sorting here. That's a bit of an issue, so we'll might have gone too far with that. So let's try instead taking the weft and warp values and dialing those up. So that has the effect of also giving the material more, more volume, more, kind of like you're basically increasing the material. And that just worked a little better, for whatever reason. Maybe I probably scaled it too much, and I think generally I like to keep these values kind of 100% because I think it can confuse things. This is a good way to kind of test things out, and then I could go back and reset the shrinkage with warp values and maybe just scale it not so much. But there you go. I think that's all right. That's kind of basically what we want, is a little puffy sleeve, um, kind of bunches here because the you've got the longer length stitching into the shorter sleeve hole, and it's puffing over the armband. It's generally the effect I want. So I think good enough for a quick sketch. I'm reasonably happy with that. I think I'll keep working on this puffy sleeve business, but I think that's going to work. So there you go. Hope that was fun. Hope you enjoyed it, this little journey into puffy sleeves. Catch you next time. Bye.
If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you.